Alright, well, hey guys, Sirak here. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a full run-through of the my Age of Empires 2 scenario, Diablo 2 The Lord of Destruction. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go ahead and explain to you exactly what's going on in every step of the way. This is a full recording. I wanted to make sure that we basically ended up clearing the entire map that way. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to walk you guys through all the little mechanics and all the little secrets that this map has to offer. I am playing with two players. One of them has played very small amounts of this map. The other one is completely brand new, so you can see in the chat that I'll be kind of quickly explaining things to them and such like that. What I'm also going to be doing is I'm not going to go ahead and cover the game mechanics, the skill trees, etc. that you can go ahead and find in my actual other Diablo 2 video tutorial. So as you can see right now, we're going to be playing on Act 1 normal. So what normal means is that it's the easiest level difficulty that's going to happen. And as you can see, there's 3 heroes here that we're going to be able to pick. So you use just a horse. You end up picking the hero that you want. So I will be playing as the sorcerer in this run. We've got the next player that's going to take the barbarian. And finally, the last player will pick the plume. And off we go on our adventure. So the easiest thing to do right now is to make sure that your king over here is actually going on strength. The reason for that is because strength gives you damage, and you want that, especially at the beginning, to make sure that you're able to kill a couple of mobs so that you can get some of your powers. The early levels you'll go really fast, and as you'll see later on, you'll be able to go ahead and do a lot. It'll take a lot longer for you to go ahead and get extra levels. So, as you can see, the Jaguar and the Barbarian going right into combat. There's not too much here, not really. The main thing to do is to take out these fallen archers. They're the ones who do the most damage, as they don't need to go ahead and surround your players. But everything here does 1 damage, so basically, because of how tanky all of the players are, it should take a while. The only exception to the rule is when a militia starts attacking the plume archer, because of the normal melee damage. I'll do 2 damage instead of 1, so you just have to be a little bit more careful. What you have also at the beginning is you do have 3 small HP potions over here at the last area of your, and all you got to do is just cross the ice to go ahead and start using those potions. And at the beginning they're quite powerful, as they heal 50 over a couple of seconds. So it's really nice to have, especially at the early start when HP does that. So as you can see, I've already got quite a bit of extra attack, and so did these players. They ended up getting a little bit of extra attack points themselves. And as you can see, we're just slowly killing these enemies as they're coming through. You can ignore the tributes on the side. Hey, Self. I wish I could just go ahead and delete Grim, but unfortunately well, actually I can say that he's the only person who died, spoiler alert, on this run. But as you can see, we're slowly killing these fallen militias, and we're finally going to find out what the Den of Evil is right here. So I'm just going to remove the Fog of War here, and what I'm going to actually explain to you is to end up the looting mechanic. So as you can see, there's a chest right over here that we're going to go ahead and grab, and the cool thing that I've actually implemented into this map is the fact that these chests have completely random chance of getting what you have. So ideally no 2 runs are exactly the same, which is as intended. So there we go, we have a card giving us our first quest to go ahead into the Den of Evil and to clear out whatever monsters there are in there. It's not too difficult, but you want to just go ahead and keep going to get the chest. So this chest particularly has a 1% chance of getting you the Nigel ring. So the Nigel ring, I'll go ahead and speak to that a little bit later as we start getting items, is really good. It's only for 50 gold, but trust me, the value is more than, I don't know, like 100 times worth its actual gold price. You have a 10% chance of actually getting an attack charm, which just gives you a net +3 to your attack. You also get a 20% chance to get a medium health charm, so that gives you an extra 50 hit points. You have a 40% chance of getting another small HP potion, which also isn't too bad. So as you can see here, I've got a medium amount of gold, which doesn't do too much. And then, of course, you get 90% chance to get the medium amount of gold. So medium gold at this point is about like 10 gold or something. And as you can see, Grim Reaper is actually got the medium health charm, so it gets an extra 50. I am recording this, and this will be going up onto YouTube's on different different videos. I'm going to try to get about one per act or something like that, depending on how long it takes. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and speed this up just a little bit, just because at this point we're going to start buying, we're going back to town. They're going to heal a little bit, and I'm going to start buying items. So the first thing that I buy Storm Eye. Now, I usually prefer this weapon for the Sorcerer because you automatically get a lot of attack from skills such as like Drain Life and things like that. So what Storm, I'll actually go through the weapons that we're purchasing right now. So Storm Eye right here gives you an extra 5 attack, and it gets every kill you get to heal something like 15 or so hit points. Everything's actually written over here in the Scout, so if you're not sure about anything that I've said or I've covered something too quickly, you'll be able to go ahead and find it. So 5 attack, you heal 10 per kills. The Chieftain does adds 10 attack and 2 armor. I really like this weapon when I'm playing on the Barb. For the Barb especially, I want to have as much armor as possible, so that way you can stay in the mix and do a lot of damage. The Diggler is the weapon I prefer the most for the Rogue. The main reason behind that is that it's really expensive for them to purchase strength, which means that it converts to your attack. So the plus 20 attack almost makes you one-hit things right off the bat in the beginning. So as you can see, I didn't even need a chance to heal. I'm just going straight in. And what's going to happen is, because I believe I am level 3, not yet, I will be grabbing Drain Life in a little bit. And as you can see, even Grimm's bad-mouthing me over here. So I'm going to get Drain Life, and basically those kings will go ahead and heal me at some point when I start using my powers. And as you can see, I've got my wood, and I kind of timed it so that it's perfectly aligned, so that when I get Drain Life, I can start using it without wasting any mana over here. So as you can see, like, the Jaguar Warrior is really strong. I don't know if I used, no, I didn't use my potion, so it's literally just Drain Life that's just been healing me, and you can see that my attack will kind of fluctuate when I start using it. Oh, right, I grabbed my weapon. I didn't even need to activate my other ability. So the weapon just makes me really invincible. As you can see, I'm just walking around mobs here, not even bothering to attack, and as they're not doing that much damage. Like, that's intended. This is the starting area. And now we got the Barbarian coming in, so Grimm's coming in, and he's going to go ahead and start helping out by killing a couple of these archers. And so as you can see here, we've got finally the first boss minions. So purple, you'll definitely want to be a little bit more careful around them, as they're the boss mobs for this map. So every time that you see purple, they're generally stronger. They may have some abilities. This one is the first boss, so they're really actually really easy to go ahead and kill. As you can see, we're making quite short work of them. Corpse Fire, you just have to go ahead and kill. And as soon as you kill Corpse Fire, the next area kind of opens up. Alright, so Kara says that we're finished the quest, and I'll go ahead and speed it up because I think we're all going to go back to town after this. I'm going to go ahead and grab my ring, and we're going to go ahead and hit the next section. The first act bosses, I think they're pretty simple. There's no actual mechanics. I think just the final boss of the act actually has anything. So anyways, I tell my party to go ahead and get the Nagel ring. So the Nagel ring, I'm just going to go ahead and take it up just a little bit here. So it has a 50% chance to give you an extra gold for each kill. So if you haven't watched the Diablo 2 tutorial mechanic, what happens is you get 2 gold for 1 kill. As well as 2 stones for 1 kill. If somebody else gets a kill, you get 1 of each. And this is just kind of to make sure that if somebody's getting a lot of kills, the other players aren't falling behind too far. And so this ring actually gives you an extra gold, and as you can see, my gold will be going up very quickly. Now I want to double check what the rest of the party is actually going. So as you can see, they've actually followed my recommendations here. So as you can see, my weapon here is Storm Eye. The Barbarian has grabbed the Chieftain, and of course the Rogue has grabbed the Diggler. Now I've grabbed Nagel ring, and so unfortunately has Grimm. I will probably be bad-mouthing Grimm without wanting to. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. I do apologize to Grimm. He's not a bad person. It's kind of a meme in the channel that we have going here. So anyways, with my drain life ability as well as my weapon, the Jaguar Warrior, especially against these red mobs, will be making short work of everything in here. And as you can see, my gold count is going to start spiking, and my goal here is to get about 150 gold, just so that I can go ahead and purchase the next armor. So as you can see, it's getting a little bit more dangerous. Like these Dark Spear women, they actually have 8 damage, and there's of course archers. So the ranged units, you always have to make sure that they're not massing horribly. The other thing is that these guys, they'll actually go ahead and do more than 1 damage off the normal armor that you start with. So just to be a little bit more careful. But the spearmen, they're basically just complete trash that you can go ahead and kill. And as you can see, like just as we enter this area, the spawn ends up stopping. There's a couple more mobs here. There's the Cairn stones here, which I tried to do my best to replicate. They don't glow, but it's pretty there. And of course, you get to kill Rakanishtu, the boss here. Now, this boss isn't actually mandatory. This is an optional boss. You can choose to completely skip it, but it does give nice rewards if you're able to go ahead and get them. So again, I'm going to go over the rewards. So you have a 1% chance to grab an amulet called the Eye of the Etlich. So basically it gives you a nice heal after every kill. So if your weapon doesn't do that already, or you don't have an ability that does that, that amulet can be kind of nice. And it's I think it's 100 gold value off the bat. So if you're able to get that 1% chance, it's really nice. Other than that, you get a 10% chance to get a large vitality charm, which gives you 70 HP. And as you can see, I didn't get anything. I just got gold. You have 20% chance to grab a small mana potion, 40% chance to get extra stats points, so you get an extra 12 stone, and then of course the normal one, you basically just get 10 stone. 15 stone. So you get a couple of extra stats to go ahead and spend. So if you don't know the stat mechanics, basically this ratio here will tell you. My tutorial video will go ahead and explain that for you. Alright, so I'm going to go back because I have over 150 gold. I'm going to go ahead and grab the next armor. So I'm going to go ahead and speed it up a little bit just so that we can keep going. And then of course we're going to go on to the next boss here, which is Bloodraven. So I'm just going to go ahead and equip my armor. So what rock, I'm going to go over a little bit the armors while I have a chance. So the armors here, there's a Centurion, so you get an extra 5 armor and 150 HP. This is the complete like mainline, and just complete buffs everything. Rock Fleece gives plus 8 armor, and that's the one that I usually favor when I'm playing this. But it also gives a minus 10 to attack. So there is a little bit of a drawback there as you're losing attack to get those extra armor. Heavenly Garb, I really recommend it for those who are a little bit falling behind but also know the map very well. As you only get 2 armor, you also get a 50% chance to heal 30, and that's going to be way more than enough to go ahead and get you through Act 1. And you'll see that Act 2 is going to get a little bit more difficult. And then you get, of course, a 7.5% chance to get extra XP. So it just means that every time that you get a kill, you have a 7.5% chance to get an extra experience point. And that's all done through tributes, through the other ones. And we'll get through that at some point. But I don't think anybody took any of that just because we wanted to go ahead and finish. So of course you have the rogue here who also took the Rock Fleece armor. I don't think Grim has enough to go ahead and get it. I'm going to go over the skills. So basically, we took Inner Sight and Prayer pretty much the first 2 levels. I grabbed Drain Life and then Warmth to go ahead and boost my mana and regen. And as you can see, I'm always maxed on there and I don't have anything. I did kind of skip over here the Bloodraven fight, but it wasn't really anything. There's just a couple of spawns here that come out. Nothing big. So when you kill the Crypt, there's it's the first quote-unquote mini-boss. And you'll see that Bonebreaker will actually come out to go ahead and give us a shot. So Bonebreaker here has a 1% chance to give mana regeneration, which is completely amazing if you're able to go ahead and grab it. And it's you get an extra 2 wood every 10 seconds, so it's really nice to have, as mana regeneration doesn't actually matter if you're killing things or not. I got extra stats in gold, so did Grim, but I'll get around to that. So 10% chance to get an energy charm, so it gives you a +3 to energy, so you, basically it's like you've spent enough stone for 3 times the points in here. That's actually quite a bit of stone. Even for the sorcerer who's got the cheapest stone cost for energy, that's still about 21 stone or so. Um, 20% chance for the extra stats, so we get an extra 15 stone. So that's what me and Grim have. So we got pretty lucky on there. 40% chance to get a small vitality charm, which is an extra 50%. Sorry, 50 HP. And then if you don't get anything, you automatically just get the 20 gold and the 10 stone. So now since we have armor, we can just keep going. And as you can see, these guys are slowly ramping up. So they do 7 and 8 damage, and even the pikemen here have been buffed a little bit. They have a little bit of armor, so not you may not one-shot these guys right away. I'm strong enough to do so, and especially with being the Jaguar Warrior, I'm able to go ahead and grab the bonus damage. But here we can see that even the Plume here is able to go ahead and kind of one-shot some of these. He can't one-shot the Wodes Raiders, but he can definitely one-shot the Throwing Axemen as well as the Pikemen. So you can see that we're just making short work of this, and by the time that Grim comes over, this area is going to be pretty much mopped up, which is nice. Now, the main thing here, especially when you're playing higher difficulty, is that you're gonna want to be as in town as little as possible. You want to make sure that you're not in town, because that's a lot of time wasted. As you can see, Grim had to walk all the way there and all the way back just to go ahead and grab an armor. So as soon as I'm in town, I try to grab everything. Of course, at the start when everything's cheap and you kind of need to fill a slot with everything, it's great. Other than that, like, I would go ahead and do that. In normal, there is no such like time constraint or anything like that, so there's no problem. You can take as much time as you'd like. And of course, we're going to go ahead and hit another optional mini boss here, that is Bone Ash. Now, Bone Ash here, if you get lucky, you can get on the 1% chance, you get a life steal, so you get an extra 5 hit points for every kill. You get a 10% chance to get mana steal, so you get 1 mana, 1 wood for every kill. You have a 20% chance to grab 3 energy, 40% chance to grab the large gold, so you get an extra 20 on top of the 90% chance here that I've got. So you get 30 gold and 10 stone as a base. So I just got the base on this one. There's also another chest right here in the barracks, and that one you get a 1% chance of getting an extra armor. So I got a medium gold, and I do believe Grim has that as well. So there's a 10% chance to get a health potion. So that's an upgraded version of the sheep that we saw earlier. It actually heals for 100 at this point in the game. They actually end up going up in value as you go on in the map. Another nice mechanic to make sure that your potions kind of stay relevant with you throughout the map. To keep going, you have a 20% chance to get an attack charm, which is an extra 7 attack, which is really nice. 20% chance to get medium gold, so you get an extra an extra 15, and the base, of course, is 15 gold and 10 stone, so anything else that you get is based on that. So since we just cleared this quest with the smith, we ended up getting 3 donkeys over here, and what happens here is that you get to pick between 4 different options, and as you saw, we all went for the diamond, so the +2 armor. The main reason why we all went for the +2 armor is because armor is the hardest thing to get in this game. The way the map is designed is all based on your armor to kind of mitigate as much damage. The 300 HP really looks nice now, but trust me, during the end of the map, when you've got 15,000 or something, that extra 300 doesn't really matter, while the 2 armors will remain consistently good. In other game modes, the amethyst is really important to make sure that you stay above the damage thresholds to make sure that you're able to do that. Alright, Self, I am glad that you're able to go ahead and join me for at least, the start of this one, but you can go ahead and catch all of them in the YouTube, so I'll be happy to go ahead and show that to you. I'm just going to go ahead and finish up there, but you have a great night, man. We have the topaz finally, which gives 150 gold. So if you think that your gold accounts here, you can buy something a little bit quicker, especially considering that we're coming up to the second act, that we'll be able to go ahead and grab something a little bit better. So as you can see, we've got a little bit stronger monsters here, but again, they just hit hard. They're not that much in terms of hit points. These war elephants are usually 2 shots. I mean, if I activated my drain life at the moment, because I believe I would be able to about 1 shot them, but I'd prefer not to go ahead and do that. So the idea is to make sure that everybody's kind of growing together and strong, because as you'll see, especially later, there's going to be a lot of synergies to go ahead and go in between the characters to make everybody really strong at the end. And I'm really happy to say that, especially in this run, it's really hard to get a run like this. Not that it's impossible to do it on a solo run, but I just wanted to show all of you guys the excellent synergies that we're going to be having later on. So as you can see, our barbarian's quite tanky. He's got an extra 13 armor. Our rogue here is almost dead, but as you can see, there's got plus 12, and myself here, I've got another plus 12. And as you can see, the HPs are rather similar. So for the barbarian and I, the rogue, however, is lacking a little bit behind. I think that's because he ended up taking the skill prayer a little bit earlier than usual. So we've cleaned up most of the mobs, and this is where I get to actually explain the first actual quote-unquote cool boss fight. Now, end of act boss fights are always like they're always an arena fight, so you can't actually leave this place once you've entered it. And basically, all up until I put the gallow here as a point of reference. If you cross this point, any units in here, so any of your heroes will start taking damage. So over here, what's going to happen is you take, see here, you actually take 30 poison damage every 10 seconds. And this is on top of the boss actually hitting. So as you can see, the boss has quite a bit of hit points compared to what you were doing before. She attacks quite hard, but honestly, it's the poison that does the most damage. So what you want to do, or try to avoid doing as much as possible, is running around. So as you can see, our barbarian barely lived the encounter. Same thing with the rogue, but they were damaged before they went off. And of course, there's loot to be had after killing this. So you have a 10% chance to get an extra 5 experience points. It's not that much, but it is 5 kills that you get for free. You get a 40% chance to get a large vitality charm, which is 100 extra hit points, which is what I believe I've gotten. And of course, the normal static is the large goal, which is 50. So what happens